based on like a sort of retro sort of pixel art style.
Okay, everybody give it up for Mark Kern.
So you got memory card? No, it's cool, man.
Call me Mr. Late.
Right, shot.
You're doing great.
I'm on a
Hey,
shot. Yeah, I'm a shot.
At least you're not in a hotel.
You're on the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was about to go to the office and realize, you guys had already started, so I'm here.
And they're already laced drugs.
Awesome.
Yeah, good. Keep it going. They love it. They love it. I love those guys.
The Dundee anti-memory control is absolutely terrible. Come on. Get this fella. Get Dr. Roo over here.
Well, so they had asked me, you know, Mark, why don't you tell them about how you got involved in Gamergate? Because they'd asked me about that.
Oh, well, it was the naval, really. They just brought it. It was, there's this chat log that got leaked where it talks about, we'll offer you all the naval you want if you join the thing. I compromised my ethics at that point. Basically, it was the SVU episode on TV that really did it for me, and it was like the portrayal of gamers, and the false narrative that gamers are against women and gaming and everything else. It reached ridiculous heights with that episode, and that's what really dragged me into it. And I'd been following it prior to that. I'd been watching it actually pretty closely because I'd seen the industry go through this before with Jack Thompson and violence, and so I didn't want to see that happen again. And so that's what really pulled me into Gamergate.
Yeah, you have a pretty prolific background.
Oh my God.
I'm sure everyone here knows.
Well, I've worked on games all my life, basically, starting since middle school and high school, and then professionally. I started my own game company, but probably most well known for working at Blizzard for many years, where I worked on StarCraft, Diablo 2, team lead of vanilla World of Warcraft, and and now I'm doing my own thing again, starting yet another game company. I guess I'm kind of listening.
Massive loading times too. Yeah. so tell us a little bit. What can you tell us about your project now?
Basically, what we were trying to do with my last project, which was Firefall, the company called Red 5 that I had founded with some ex-Blizzard guys, is we wanted to make the next game that the WoW team had wanted to make. We wanted to make this game, and we didn't think that there would be an opportunity to do that at Blizzard, so we split and we made our own company. And that game was basically to do to bring sort of a massive online quality to a large war game, because we were all huge Battlefield 1942 fans on the WoW team, and we were playing that constantly. So we tried that, and then Blizzard tried Titan, and neither of us fared too well. The problem with my project Firefall is that I had very big investors who were investing money because they thought they were getting WoW, and they wanted WoW with guns, basically. And when I made it clear that no, we're trying to make an action-oriented game, there was a creative conflict there, and so I ended up resigning. They ended up changing the project 180 degrees prior to launch, and the game never got a chance to see the light of day. So with that in mind, I've taken the core principles of what we wanted to do when we left Blizzard, and we've turned it into a project called Ember, which is a massive online war game against an alien race called the Shiu. And I'm very excited about that because I'm not doing big investors this time. I'm doing a new type of crowdfunding. We do it on a milestone basis so we have accountability to our backers. And that's what I'm working on right now. Accountability and crowdfunding. What a massive concept there.
Yeah, and that actually brings an interesting point, because this is kind of what we were talking about earlier with Gamergate right before you joined, which is that so much of the market ends up being determined by people who don't even play games, people who are journalists, people who are investors who don't even know what the end user wants. So that kind of highlights that. And that's what's great about crowdsourced funding.
Yeah, I mean, the people who are back in the game are they know exactly what they want out of the gameplay, and they're gamers themselves. And it's true, the industry definitely, you see this in movies too. You stick with safe genres, you stick with known IPs, because the cost of games have gotten so ridiculously large. What's interesting is that I actually see the cost of games starting to drop with advanced tools and engines available like Unreal 4, and I was just fooling around earlier this morning with a program called Substance Designer, which allows you to make physically based textures procedurally. I think this is the real future. It's like, as those costs come down again, we're going to see more risk taken, more innovation, and that should help the industry overall.
Yeah, and also just getting that journalistic stranglehold off of it. This is what was kind of cool about Gamergate, I think, is it brought together a lot of people from disparate industries who said, fuck these guys, they want to tell us what to think about this, because this is that comes back to the core thing. We're seeing this all over in the industry right now, where the journalistic and the media bias on things is influencing what people think about this. So it's this is, I think, at the core of it, everyone who wants to play games, we just want to play games. We just want to play games. And what I love about you, Mark, is you're the person who makes that happen. So thank you. You're awesome. I'm going to give it up to Mark.
We became game makers by being game players, and actually now I'm playing more games than I ever did before. And being with Gamergate put me in touch with gamers again. I think there's a real issue with developers losing touch with their audience, especially if they buy in, like you said, too much to the press or too much to social media. And when I connected with Gamergate again, it was like, oh my gosh, this is my home. This is where I came from. This is, these are gamers. And for me, it was a very refreshing reconnection with the community that I came from and loved so much. And, now I kind of feel like I have my finger on the pulse again of what we all like to play collectively, and I find myself playing more games and finding the joy in them again. So,
and the navels don't hurt.
And then I bought No Man's Sky. Now I came crashing down.
Okay, so you got a question here from the floor. Okay, what's the surest sign of a badly managed crowdfunded game? You would say.
I would. Well, first of all, I think that it's the communication first and foremost. If the developers aren't directly connecting with you, if they're still treating you as if they were a publisher, and there was a publisher standing between the developer and the audience, then you've got a problem. Because in the traditional industry, the publishers fund it, but when the backers are funding your game, I think it's really important to be accessible to them in all forms. And so for Ember, we're on the forums every day. We're in Discord chat once or twice a day sometimes, just staying connected. I'm pre-testing ideas out on people. Obviously, trying to crowdfund the design of a game is not your best idea. It's like trying to ask 500 people what movie they want to see tonight. It's just everyone to agree on what movie they should see tonight. Try that with several thousand. But what you can do is you can float ideas out there and say, this is kind of the way we're leading, this is kind of what we're thinking, and then you can kind of judge if that's the direction that is going to resonate the best with your audience. Because in the end, we as creators, we have to balance what we want to create with what people want to play. I could want to make the world's best musical adventure game, but there could be no market for it. But for crowdfunding, if they're not talking to you, if they're not updating you constantly, especially during the crowdfunding phase, there should be certain updates. That to me is a red flag.
Yeah, and you're really good at that. I mean, I see you online just all the time. You're highly accessible for somebody who has as much going on as you do. Yeah, but you are.
Sacrifice navel for the
it's
naval
great,
gods.
Somebody say something. Good question from the floor? Yeah, that's what's great about you, Mark, is that I see you online. If you can't get Mark's attention in email, send him lewd photos of navels and guarantee you that he will get back to you ASAP.
I prefer 2D.
He likes the 2D. Stick with the 2D.
Put the question on the navel. That's right, isn't it?
Unless it's your naval, Mercedes.
Not naval. Is that what you were going to say then?
I got naval privilege over here.
That's privilege. Come on.
Okay, so you got another question from the floor. Do you have any idea where topics should move as things move forward? So that seems kind of general.
That's good.
Hey, how about this? Regarding Gamergate, regarding the whole ethos, this is about ethics and gaming journalism. Where do you think that narrative needs to move? Does this need to go forward as Gamergate, or does this need to transform into something else? What are your thoughts?
I don't know if what happened with Gamergate. I think is, many things happened to Gamergate, and to sort of like spread us all apart, and we're not like, we don't have this laser focus on one issue anymore, because I think we opened up Pandora's box. We sort of lifted the lid on ethics and journalism, and then the elections came around, and we're like, oh my God, everywhere. It's not just games.
Yeah.
And not just the election. For everyone in Europe, it's the issue of immigration and Brexit and everything else.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy crap! There's game journal pros everywhere, and this is a huge problem with our society with mainstream journalism.
Whoa!
That's Richard Murdoch, is that? Cover your ears.